Evening, everybody. Welcome to Transparent Tuesday. I know it's a little late. Honestly, I wasn't going to hop on tonight, but God just dropped something on me like, boom, you need to go on there and be transparent. And I'm in my room putting my daughter to sleep. So, um, quick announcement. My new book, Have You Ever Wanted to Die, is officially launched today. So those of you that have pre-ordered for me, I'm waiting for the books in the mail, and then I will send them out to you as soon as I get them. And if you want to order it on Amazon, the ebook is on Apple, Google Books. It's available now. So I'm really, really excited about this book. Um, I feel like marrying outside of God's will was just to get my feet wet. But have you ever wanted to die? It's really dear to my heart. Like, I really feel like those that actually read it, it's going to help them and it's going to let them know you got to live. You can't let the enemy win. Even though you want to die, if that's a feeling that you're feeling, you have a purpose, a calling on your life. So you can't be defeated. You already have the glory. So tonight, the journey to God's promise. And this is very transparent because I'm dealing with this right now. I am on a journey, right? A process to the promise that God has made for me. And this process has not been easy. When I tell you the spiritual warfare that I've gone through, it's crazy. Anything that can go wrong has gone wrong. And then when you're on a journey, right? God made a promise. You need to be on that journey with God, and if you're married, with your spouse. Everybody else doesn't need to be on the journey with you. Because when you allow others on the journey, sometimes they can say things to deter you or discourage you or make you feel like you want to give up, but you know what God promised you. The thing about it is that when God makes a promise, you don't know the journey that it's going to take to get there. You don't know what you're going to have to go through. The promise is there, right? His word is not going to return to him void. But you may have to go through some things to get to that journey. The enemy does not want you to have anything that God has promised you. He wants to still kill and destroy. That's his job. So he's going to throw any and everything at you that he can so you can mess up your own blessing. But you have to stay the course, no matter what it looks like. And I was reminded tonight, the foundation, my village that I have, these women are absolutely amazing. Faith isn't about a feeling. Faith isn't about what it looks like. It's about knowing what God told you is going to happen. So you can't let anybody in your ear. You can't allow the roadblocks that are coming up to discourage you. You have to stand on that promise that God made you and keep pushing forward. If it's his will and his way, no matter what comes up, that's going to be, you got to have a trial to have a testimony. So part of the trial is going to be the testimony. Like, all of these things came up, but God made a way out of no way. He showed up in the midnight hour. That's the purpose of it. And I had to be reminded of that today because I'm like, oh Lord, these things is just coming up, coming up, coming up. And I had to be reminded. Faith is not what you can see, what you can feel, it's the believing in the unseen. It's having that faith to walk out. Okay, God made this promise, so I'm going to make the steps to get to where God told me to go. And not only that, another thing that I was reminded of is that, the story of Job, and he lost everything. But when he started praying for other people, that's when God restored him. Sometimes let me make this very clear. I'm not saying by any means get off your prayer post. What I'm saying is take a second, pray for somebody else, lift someone else up, stay on your post, stay on your course, stay on your journey, but lift somebody else up in prayer while you're on your journey. I remember a while ago, a pastor's wife told me, I'm handling God's business and God is going to handle my business. Lay your groundwork, walk out on the water, walk out in the faith. But in the midst of you doing that, check on someone, pray for someone, see how you can bless somebody else while you're on your journey to the promise that God made to you. It's easier said than done. Getting discouraged, I had a very discouraging day today. And I don't think I wanted to give up, but I was just like, dang, I'm so discouraged because of all of these things. But then, like I said, this village that I have, these wonderful women, strong women of God, I was reminded it's not what you can see, it's not what you can feel, and it's not for everybody else. This is a journey between you, your husband, and God. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. It is. I can't allow others to speak or say things when I already know what God promised me. He didn't tell me how I was going to get there. He made the promise, but he didn't say what I was going to go through to get there. And I know the enemy's job, still kill and destroy. So I should not be surprised by some of the stumbling blocks. I shouldn't be surprised by the things that are being thrown in our path. And then I also had to remember I have an assignment that I'm supposed to be on. There are people that are connected to me that are going through things right now that I should be praying for instead of being selfish and so focused on what I'm dealing with. Because even though my situation is not the same as theirs, what they're going through is harder to deal with. So I have decided I've done all that I can do at the moment. We've done everything that we can. So now it's in God's hands as to the way this journey is going to continue to his promise. In the in between time, I'm here on Transparent Tuesday, and I'm going to go in my prayer closet and I'm going to pray for those around me that need prayer. I'm going to focus on how I can be a blessing to them, how I can help them instead of just thinking about myself and what I have going on. Because at the end of the day, when God makes you a promise, whether it's a new job, it's a new house, a new car, a new relationship, whatever that promise may be, there's a benefit for the kingdom in some kind of way. And instead of thinking about ourselves, we need to think about when this promise manifests, because it is, his word does not return void. How am I going to be a blessing to a kingdom? How can I be used once I reach this promise? And that was something that I lost sight of. So don't be discouraged in the waiting room. Don't be discouraged on the journey, because a lot of times, and I remember when I went to church, we had guest pastors and they said, we don't care about your brand new house. We don't care that you just bought a house. How did you get there? What did you have to go through to get that new house? What did you have to go through to get that new job? What did you have to go through before you got married? What did you have to go through to get that miracle baby that you prayed for? The journey is what's important. So you shouldn't be discouraged by the journey. And I'm smiling so hard because this is like, I'm talking to myself right now. God is just so good, and you guys can't even understand. But the journey is what's important, because your journey is going to encourage and uplift somebody else when they're going through their own journey. So don't be discouraged in your journey. Don't worry about what you can't see, what you can see, what you don't feel. None of that matters. You know what the promise was? You do all that you can and walk out all on the faith that you can to do your part and let God take care of the rest. And while he's taking care of the rest, and patience is something that I'm learning, focus on your assignment. Focus on those that are in need of your prayers. Focus on those who need you to call and say, hey, how was your day? I'm just checking in on you. You're on an assignment no matter what you're going through in life. And when that day comes and you face God and he says, why you didn't complete that assignment? You can't say, oh, I was stressed because I applied for this new job and I don't know if my resume was going to get me there. I was stressed because you said I was going to be a homeowner, but I kept going through all these houses and all these things were wrong. And I was stressed because I was praying for this baby and the baby wasn't coming. And I was just so focused on what am I doing wrong? And none of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is he told you to do something and you didn't do it, no matter what you were going through. Maybe you blocked yourself because you were being so selfish and focusing on you instead of on the bigger picture and the greater good. So don't get weary. Don't get discouraged. Don't allow others to discourage you. Keep your next move silent. Your right hand doesn't always need to know what your left hand is doing. And stay encouraged. The journey is necessary, because how are you going to have a testimony? Oh, I just bought a house. Okay, what's the thrill in that? Oh, I just got this job I've been trying to get for all these years. Okay. Oh, I just had the baby I've prayed for the last 3 years. It's a little boring. But when you sit there and you say, I just had this baby that I prayed for 3 years, and I went through all these treatments, and the doctor said it wasn't, the baby wasn't going to come, and I couldn't have kids, and I prayed and I did all these things, and then I had my baby. What you went through is what matters. Oh, God said I was going to be a homeowner, but I found a house and it was all these repairs on the inspection, or the money was too much, or I didn't qualify. But at the end of the day, they said I was approved. At the end of the day, the sellers we thought weren't going to pay for the repairs ended up paying for the repairs. At the end of the day, the closing costs that I need, it just showed up in my bank account out of nowhere, or somebody blessed me out of nowhere, or a check came in the mail that I wasn't expecting. That is what matters. That's what's going to save a soul. That's what's going to spark someone else's interest. The journey that you had to go through, the struggles, the mountains that came up against you that God took you through. We always want to go over, or we want to go around, but we never want to go through. So once he gets you through and you get to that blessing and that promise, the journey was well worth it. But in between time, what makes it even better is I was stressed praying for this baby and going to all these doctor's appointments. But you know what? While I was sitting in the doctor's office, I was talking to this lady and I just started ministering to her. I just started sharing my testimony with her. I just started letting her know how far God has brought me. Oh my gosh, I'm pregnant now. Oh my gosh, the job came through now. You might be on that journey, or there may be some roadblocks in your way that you need to get through, because there's some people in these stops that are waiting to hear from you, that are waiting for the testimony, that are waiting for you to tell them, I got through. I got this far. God didn't bring me this far to leave me. And one thing that I know for sure about God is when you trust in him, you will never be ashamed. So even though to you, to me, I'm going to say to me, because I'm dealing with this right now, it may look like an impossible situation, he's not going to allow me to be ashamed because I'm trusting in him. That's something that's very important to remember as well. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you guys. I'm like I said, I didn't plan on coming on, but God was like, no, you need to share this. So, and my baby just went to sleep. She's asleep now. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Don't get weary during the journey. The journey is necessary. The journey is the part that makes the testimony. Without a test, there's no testimony. Make sure you guys get a copy of Have You Ever Wanted to Die? This is a game changer. This book is a game changer. And like I said, it's not even about the money. It's all most of it's gonna, practically all of it really. I'm not worried about it. I want to donate it all. So if there is a charity that you guys know of, an organization, a foundation for suicide, send it my way. And that's where I'm going to be donating the proceeds from the books. Get your copy, share a copy with someone else. It is a game changer. Because you never know what someone's fighting behind closed doors. And like I said, don't get discouraged in your journey. You're going to get to that promise because God made it, and his word is not going to be returned to him void. But you have to go through. You can't go over, you can't go around. You have to go through to get to it. Don't allow anybody else to discourage you. And do not get off of your assignments while you're going through your journey. Peace, love, and blessings. Good night.